Take out a banknote. Any one. Whatever is in your wallet right now. Hold it up to the light. Look at it. Really look at it. Not at the number. Not at the face printed on it. At everything else. The tiny lines. The thread embedded in the paper. The watermark that appears only when held to light. The ink that shifts color when you tilt it. You've handled this object thousands of times in your life, and you've never once looked at what's actually on it, because to you, it's just money. But to the people who designed it, it's a battlefield. Counterfeiting is one of the oldest crimes in human history. As long as governments have issued currency, people have tried to copy it. And for most of history, they succeeded, because the technology to print convincing fakes wasn't that different from the technology to print real ones. In the 1860s, counterfeiting was so widespread in the United States that an estimated 1/3 of all paper currency in circulation was fake. 1/3. That's not a fringe problem. That's a collapse of trust in money itself. And a currency that can't be trusted stops working, because money only has value if everyone agrees it does. So governments began an arms race, not with weapons, with paper, ink, and engineering. The first line of defense is the paper itself, and it's not actually paper. Modern banknotes are printed on a blend of cotton and linen fibers, sometimes with synthetic polymers added. This material has a specific texture, weight, and feel that regular printing paper cannot replicate. When you rub a real banknote between your fingers, you feel something that no home printer or commercial copier can reproduce. That texture is built into the material at the manufacturing stage, before a single drop of ink is applied. Some countries have moved entirely to polymer banknotes, thin plastic sheets that are waterproof, more durable, and even harder to counterfeit. Australia introduced the world's first polymer currency in 1988. Today, more than 50 countries use them. Then comes the printing, and this is where it gets extraordinary. The most secure banknotes use a technique called intaglio printing. The design is engraved directly into a metal plate at microscopic depth. Ink is forced into those engraved lines under enormous pressure, then transferred to the paper. The result is ink that sits slightly raised above the surface. You can feel it with your fingertip if you run it slowly across the face of a real note. No desktop printer. No photocopier. No commercially available printing machine produces intaglio results. The equipment required costs millions of dollars and is tightly controlled by governments worldwide. That raised texture you feel on a banknote is not an accident. It is one of the most effective anti-counterfeiting tools ever developed, and almost no one knows it's there. Then there's the security thread. Hold most modern banknotes up to light and you'll see a thin dark strip embedded inside the paper, not printed on it, but woven through it during manufacturing. On many currencies, this thread is magnetic. On others, it changes color depending on the angle of light. On the most advanced notes, it contains microprint text so small it requires magnification to read. Reproducing a security thread requires access to the same specialized manufacturing process used by the central bank itself. It cannot be faked with any technology available to the public, and in most countries, even possessing the equipment to attempt it is a serious crime. But the feature that most people find hardest to believe is the color-shifting ink. Tilt a modern $100 bill. Watch the number in the bottom right corner. It shifts from gold to green, smoothly, continuously, depending on the angle of light. That ink contains microscopic metallic flakes, each one shaped and oriented to reflect specific wavelengths of light at specific angles. The formula for producing it is classified. The manufacturing process is proprietary. The raw materials are only sold to authorized government printers. You cannot buy this ink. You cannot replicate it. You cannot approximate it with anything available outside a government mint. And underneath all of it, visible only under ultraviolet light, is an entire hidden layer. Fluorescent fibers embedded in the paper. Invisible ink patterns that glow under UV. Serial numbers that react to specific wavelengths. This layer exists entirely outside normal human vision. It is designed specifically for authentication machines and trained inspectors. A second document hidden inside the first, invisible to anyone who doesn't know to look for it. Here's what makes all of this remarkable. You carry this technology in your pocket every day. You hand it to cashiers. You fold it. You drop it. You forget about it. And the entire time, it contains some of the most sophisticated anti-fraud engineering ever developed. Layers of protection that took decades of research, hundreds of millions in investment, and the combined expertise of chemists, engineers, engravers, and cryptographers to create. A banknote is not just money. It is a document, a security system, a piece of engineering designed to be handled by billions of people, and impossible to copy by any of them. You've been carrying it your whole life. Now you know what it actually is. If this made you reach for the nearest banknote and look at it differently, that's exactly what this channel is for. Hit like, it helps this reach people who spend money every day without ever seeing what's in their hands. And subscribe, because the next video reveals the hidden engineering behind something else you use constantly. Something so familiar you've completely stopped noticing it. See you there.